Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to this webinar where we will be presenting our connected future. Now we'll be running a Menti throughout this webinar to keep it interactive. So please enjoy it, and you will see if you try and kind of log on to Menti, this is the web address, and then enter that code. You'll see that code across the other slides. Yeah, please enjoy it. So just to introduce myself, I'm Lara Jiad from the ITS team in WSP within the systems and infrastructure discipline. Over to you, George.
Hi everyone, my name's George. I'm a graduate consultant engineer. I work in ITS, in the systems and infrastructure team. I've been at WSP for about 7 months now, working with Lara on various connectivity projects, and we're looking forward to tell you about it.
Thanks, George. Right, so we got a Menti as the first session. We just want to know more about you. So over to you, George.
So yeah, so just to start off, just to see that Menti's working, see that we can start the interactions. We just want to know what department you work in. There you go, got highways, nice. Very good. I'll give you a bit of time actually to get the code in as well, because I've only just told you. Highways, local government, nice. Great. It's good to know that the Menti's working. Highways / hazardous trees, nice. Good. We've got 5 people in right now, so it's probably all the answers. But yeah, great.
Thanks, George, and thanks everyone. Just move over to my slides. Right, so I'll start off with kind of introducing about what we do in the systems and infrastructure team. So we are a diverse team of almost 100 professionals delivering client advisory, consultancy, and engineering design services. We have some very smart people delivering the capabilities listed on the slides, such as I'll start off with the digital infrastructure. You can't really build a technical solution in the road transport domain because of the geographical spread of where things are. So there's always going to be something installed in the ground, whether be it a piece of technology on the side of the road or a control room for operators. So digital infrastructure is the digital way of designing those systems by kind of utilizing digital tools such as BIM. The next one is connectivity. It really speaks to that aspect of geographical spread as well. There's always been telecoms and the intelligent transport systems with the cabled infrastructure. In the future, we'll have more radio connection, and also 5G is on the cusp of exploding. The other one is systems. So it's about making technical projects work at the end when they come to when you come to switch them on. So it's about the integration of the different components that go into a technical system and the requirements and policy that drives why systems has to do what it has to do. We've got data and architecture. So it's all about developing business processes, data analysis, and architecture. Actually, our team is working on a very interesting project at the moment for Worker, West of England Combined Authority on their transport, developing their transport data hub. The next one is future technology. So it's about us being ready for the new technologies in the pipeline and being up to speed with the rapidly changing high-tech world. Policy and research. So this is really a supporting function to the delivery of our project. So it's all about policy development and understanding from research what needs to be done. So when we set out what the future would look like from a particular solution, there are things which we don't know yet. So research needs to be done to find out what technical solution should work that we don't know about yet. Cybersecurity. So our team, we have a team of certified operational technology and IT cybersecurity experts to boost resilience in digitalization, connectivity, technology management and revenue. So our cybersecurity services support clients operating critical national infrastructure with specialists across the cybersecurity lifecycle for all non-classical IT and Internet of Things and kind of mixed environments. Okay, so just with regards to the agenda for today, so today we'll start off with a little background on the future trends which are applicable to intelligent transport systems. We will then share what is happening now and what the fourth industry revolution is all about. Now 5G is on the cusp of exploding, so we wanted to share the opportunities of 5G and Internet of Things and share some of the use cases from some of the projects we've been delivering. And we will finish off with examining the constraints to be addressed to future ready our cities or urban areas to tackle the future trends. Okay, so starting off with the future trends. Oh, Menti, over to you, George.
Okay, yeah, let me share my screen. So we just want you to give some future trends that you think might have the biggest impact on road users today. So that could be, for example, climate change or the introduction of electric vehicles, anything like that. That's what we're after. Yep, self-driving cars is definitely a big one these days, especially with Elon Musk and Tesla. There's a lot of self-driving cars being introduced, and that could cause some issues, some danger, as well as increase efficiency if it's done right. Fuel costs, another big one that's been in the news recently as well. Fuel costs have caused some issues. A lot of people changing to electric cars, which is another one as well. Yeah, climate change. Autonomous vehicles, yeah. EV charging and electric charging, definitely. The plan is to have a lot more electric cars on the road in future and hopefully get rid of diesel and fuel reliance altogether by 2040. So that is big. Yeah, okay, great. Some great answers. Clean air zones as well, yeah, another good one. Yeah, cheers.
Thank you very much. Just move over to my screen. Okay, so we're starting off with some of the key future trends that we've identified. So our cities are facing many challenges, which are shifting from unpredictable climate change and demographic shifts to aging infrastructure and shrinking resources. Some of the future trends we've identified are the new modes of transport. So wider economic growth across the UK means that there will be a need to ensure our roads are free-flowing and number of incidents reduced. The shift that we've seen to home working, use of digital hubs and more meetings over Teams impacts on road use and the changes to the commuting pattern. The other one is climate change. So the weather is getting hotter and wetter, which will have an impact on the way we design our infrastructure. Another one is changing attitudes, which is really driven by customer demands. So advances in technology, changing customer demands. Some of the factors that affect client objectives. Resources. So we will see actually we're starting to see a move to circular economy requirements for products that can be upgraded and easily recycled. We've got digital engineering and the aspiration to link design, operations and maintenance to provide that improved asset maintenance. Electric vehicles, so the increased uptake of electric vehicles. So we need to plan now for how electric cars will be charged. CAV, connected and autonomous vehicles. So we're kind of at the start of a transition from manually operated cars to autonomous cars, and the impact this may have on managing the operation of the road network, where there is at some point going to be a mixture of autonomous and non-autonomous vehicles. And lastly, I will talk about connected public services, so smart cities. So there's the increased adoption of the connected services where technology is leveraged in a different way to improve decision making, to help develop policies and strategies, and really connectivity to provide better services and promote innovation in the urban environment. Okay, so what's happening now? So we know our cities or urbanized areas have different challenges and aspirations, but they all seem to share some similarities. They all want to do things more efficiently, safer, cleaner, and smarter. We're in the middle of what is being called the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4. This refers to the move from the widespread adoption of computers and electronics, which we see today, into more integrated networks of sensors, assets and systems which can be connected to enable some really interesting and exciting changes. Okay, George, over to you, another mentee.
Okay, so I'd like you to select the top 3 technologies that you think could transform the global economy within the next 5 years. We've got some options there for you. So we've got Internet of Things, which it describes physical objects that are embedded with sensors or processing ability, software, and other technologies that can connect and exchange data with other devices over the internet. So for example, you could have like your air conditioning in your home, which previously would just be aircon in your home, but now you can have sensors embedded to that and get it connected to maybe an app on your phone to display data, which can become, that's just one example. It can be used for a wide variety of things. You've got data analytics, got electric vehicles. So as I said before, by 2025, 20% of vehicles are expected to be electric. By 2040, the aim is to stop the use of petrol and diesel cars. We've got digital twin technology, which is a computer program that uses real-world data to create simulation, which can then predict how a product or process will perform. You've got blockchain technology, which has become increasingly more prominent with the increase in popularity of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Some companies now accept these currencies as payment. You've got connected and automated vehicles, which go from no automation, level 1 automation, all the way to level 6, which is full automation. And you've got quantum computing as well. So as technology advances, our classic computers may struggle to keep up with the complexity of future problems, whereas a quantum computer wouldn't. So yeah, automated vehicles is definitely a big one. I think it's easy to relate to as well when you've got automated vehicles, because you can see it in the real world now, whereas maybe the others you haven't come across it naturally in your life as much. But definitely connected and automated vehicles, you do. Feel like blockchain and crypto is all anyone I've known has been talking about for the last year or so. So that's definitely becoming more prominent, and obviously Internet of Things has become more useful as well. Yeah, and then electrical vehicles too. Yeah, it's great. It's quite a variety. I think they're all going to be quite prominent in the future. But yeah, think electrical vehicles and connected and automated vehicles are definitely some of the popular ones, and Internet of Things too. So that's great. Cheers.
I think somebody selected other.
If you've selected other there, yeah, if you'd like to just type what the other is in the chat, in case we've missed something that's not on one of these options.
Energy sector.
Energy sector. Yeah, that's another good answer. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
I think we have another mentee, George.
Is there another one?
Yeah.
Okay. How might we prepare to meet these technological demands in 5 years and beyond? So that could be bigger budgets or increased broadband speeds, maybe better training. Obviously, because as these technology advances, we need to learn along with it. Or as Lara was saying before, 5G could come in very useful of how we meet these technological demands. Yeah, I think budgets is always a big one. As technology advances, it's obviously costs might increase, so we're going to need the budget to keep up with the increase in technology. Better design of infrastructure, yeah, 100%. Policy and legislations as well, yeah. So as technology advances, obviously there's going to be new policies, new legislations that need to be in play to increase maybe data protection or safety as these demands increase. And yeah, education as well. Yeah, cybersecurity is definitely a big one. As everything gets more online, more automated, if it sort of exposes your data more, if your cybersecurity is not there, so safety in that respect is definitely a big one. Yeah, upskilling as well. Yeah, and the implementation of net zero commitments. Yeah, it's a great answer. Thank you. Okay, cheers, guys.
Okay, just going to move over. Okay. So thank you for that. So let's talk about the key factors. The key to surviving the new industrial revolution is really leading it. This requires two elements. The first element is awareness of disruptive technology. So this is about emerging technology. If it comes about, it will displace existing technology. So we need to track and identify the emerging technology, which will have the potential to disrupt this status quo. And the second element is that we need a plan to develop the talent that can make the most of it. Some of the key factors about Industry 4 are listed on the slide. So authorities and the general public are starting to understand the potential of data. They want to use data to better manage their operations, their networks, and to save money. They want to digitize their information so they can analyze it, understand where they have inefficiencies, and also act on them. Second one, technologies such as sensors are becoming cheaper and mass produced. So this allows collecting more data than before, and this really unlocks even more potential to use this data to improve services. 5G is being rolled out across UK cities. We've got major mobile network operators. I'll refer to them as MNOs on this presentation, such as EE, O2, 3 and Vodafone, are deploying 5G networks. And they are looking for ways to better monetize their cellular connectivity assets. So they are working together, sharing each other's core networks and looking at ways to monetize their infrastructure and the data which flows through it to provide faster and more reliable networks so they can do more with them. Okay. So here I will really talk about the features and benefits of 5G. First of all, I'll talk about the standards and the policies that exist. There is a lack of Internet of Things standardization. This is being driven from the cybersecurity side, and that's via the cybersecurity trying to get definitions of protocols. For cyber to make Internet of Things secure, there are a lot of standards being written at the moment to provide a reference architecture for the Internet of Things. This is all coming from cybersecurity working groups on the Internet of Things. One of the standards that I want to bring to your attention is called the Electronic Communication Code. It's the Digital Economy Act 2017. And the EU implementing Regulation 2020/911. So this is the small area wireless access points regulation. This act or standard, it provides telecom communication providers with the legal authority to use highway assets such as lighting columns, for example, and other street furniture to facilitate the expansion of their communication networks and promotes the sharing of such sites between providers. Now, as I said earlier, 5G is being rolled out across UK cities. However, I just want to highlight, it's worth understanding that when mobile network operators talk about 5G, they only mean parts of the infrastructure have been upgraded and not the core network itself, which is the next stage. And once that's done, this will enable many features promised by 5G, such as much faster connectivity, lower latency, so you get faster response, greater capacity, increased reliability, and better flexibility, so you can add more applications. I also wanted to reflect on some of the actual benefit expected from 5G, such as authorities can digitize their assets and processes. You can have faster cellular internet speeds, which are benefits to local communities who can do more remotely. So it might also fill gaps in high-speed broadband. Things get more interesting when you start to consider new services and applications with the industry. When you have high speed and reliable connectivity, this opens up new business models. Okay, we got a Mentee, George.
Okay, so we want to know, what are the opportunities that Industry 4 brings to cities or urban areas? So I think we had an interesting answer to this last time. We had one person saying more jobs and one person saying less jobs. So I think in that respect, there's probably just going to be like a sort of job shift. So maybe some jobs that can become automated would be reduced, but then you've got to maintain you know, the equipment and the new technology that is coming with Industry 4. So it sort of creates a job shift. So maybe no more or no less, but there'll be less in some areas, more in other areas. I thought that was an interesting point. Yeah, reduced traffic congestion is an interesting point as well, actually. Hopefully with Industry 4 coming in, we can apply new technologies to help reduce traffic congestion, because that is an issue. 3-day week. I like the sound of that, I'm not gonna lie. We had someone suggest 4 last time, but I think I prefer the sound of 3. Hybrid working, yeah. The growth of new opportunities, yeah, definitely. Creation and growth of new job sectors, yeah. More work flexibility, better connectivity is a big one, yeah. Being able to connect more easily will hopefully just increase general efficiency when it comes to working. Improved opportunities for home working, definitely. I think we've seen that a lot more during COVID as well, haven't we? Like the whole work environment has changed now with home working. Yeah, better asset management and awareness as well. Yeah, great points. Efficient public services. Yeah. Refuse collection. Yeah. Good one. Okay. Cheers, Lara.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thanks, George. Okay, so here are some of the opportunities that we've identified of Industry 4. So it includes improving services for local residents, for businesses, for tourists. It will help manage assets more efficiently. Will help it will help manage resources and revenue budgets more efficiently as well. It's really all about the data piece that sits behind that. It's about how big data is being used in a different way to improve decision making. It's very important. How to improve connectivity and promote innovation. Yeah. Okay. So how will 5G and Internet of Things support future services, and we'll share some of the use cases from some of the projects that we've been working on. Okay. So there are a diverse range of 5G services that exist to support equally kind of diverse sets of applications. So for example, on the screen, what you can see here is 5G service 1, which is the enhanced mobile broadband utilized for high bandwidth, low latency applications. So for example, we want to use that for kind of safety critical applications, like for video or CCTV, for monitoring incident detection, for example, where low latency is needed. So this is where we need high quality, and we want a more quicker response, more quicker reporting is required. So that's service 1. You've got service 2 that here, as you can see, with the application of the drainage sensors. So this is where you have the narrow band for Internet of Things, kind of used for low bandwidth, high latency applications. And this is mainly used for the Internet of Things sensors. So these servers have really evolved from 4G standards. An example that I'm sharing here with you is the drainage sensor, where the transmission of the data from the gullies to monitor the water level and silt levels in the drains remotely. So the maintenance can be more proactive rather than reactive. So they can empty the right drains at the right time to mitigate flooding and the impact of this that may have on the road user. So with this one, service 2 is sufficient for such applications. We've got some use cases that we are going to share with you. George, do you want to talk us through this one? Hello?
George, you're muted if you're speaking.
Sorry, I was muted. I think this was your one, Lara. My slides continue on a bit later on. Sorry.
No problem. So this is one of the what we're showing you here is the end-to-end solution that we developed for Wokingham Borough Council. This is where we installed a trial back end of 2020, and it's still active to date. So this solution consists of ultrasonic gully sensors that are fitted in the high flood risk areas gullies. It generates data of silt level and water levels as well. and the sensors kind of wirelessly network with the sensor hub. For the trial, we didn't utilize the lighting columns at that location because we had some really great mobile connectivity, so it was more wireless connection. But what happened, that data got converted, converted analog outputs from the sensors into data that can be read more easily on the Internet of Things dashboard. So the data transmitted to the dashboard for visualizations and analytics. So basically, the operators, they get live data understanding. They put threshold on the water level and the silt level, and when it gets to that point, that triggers a signal for them to go and empty the gullies before they flood. So so basically, combine this with artificial intelligence and machine learning, that delivers a more automated process, allowing predictive maintenance capabilities to Wokingham Borough Council. And this brings upon many benefits, such as it mitigates service disruption on the road, because when there's flooding, it will cause congestion, service disruption. It will mitigate the impact on the other infrastructure, damage to other infrastructure due to flooding. It will reduce traffic incidents and congestion and journey delays. So yeah, this trial is ongoing at the moment, and by the end of this year, we'll be evaluating the performance of the trial to decide whether it's actually worthwhile moving to the wider deployment of the gully sensors on Wokingham Borough Council. Adult social care. Is that you?
As well as that, yeah, we had adult social care, which is hopefully coming up in the near future. So connectivity supports achieving social value. There's a need to ensure that our cities are built to be inclusive. We'd like to use technology to provide better quality of life for residents by improving their well-being and support to people who require care, whilst maintaining their independence in their own homes. So adult social care provides support not only to the residents but to the carers as well, by reducing pressure on carers and volunteer carers. So there'll be like oven, fridge and bathroom sensors that we place in the home of the elderly to measure how often these facilities are being used, and then alert a problem if there's inconsistency in the data. There'll be wrist watches that will measure the health of the elderly, such as heart rate, and it'll track the location of the user and be able to detect falls. So this can reduce the pressure put on carers by reducing the volume of unnecessary routine checkups and unnecessary admissions into clinics and hospitals, which also reduces pressure on health services as well. There's a bespoke mesh network that is being developed and trialed for these IoT sensors. Hopefully that'll be implemented in the future. And then as well as that, we had another living lab trial in which we were supporting the Buckinghamshire Council, which involves the installation of environmental sensors, which includes 50 end sensor packs, each consisting of 2 sensors from microclimate sensors, surface temperature sensors, noise level sensors, PIR, motion sensors, NO2 and ozone levels, which measures like there's got dew point measurements, but particulate matter 2.5, relative humidity temp, and other and just ambient temperatures as well. So the sensors have the potential to facilitate better decision making, improving the quality of life for residents in several ways. So the localized assessment of air quality conditions, the integration of air pollution sensors with traffic management control system can dynamically adjust traffic signals according to pollution levels to reduce congestion and reduce CO2 emissions. This may help reduce instances of respiratory illnesses in residents, as well as contribute to meeting net zero targets. So the PIR sensors can help contribute to improved security. So they can trigger alarms or security lights by motion detecting, and they also have noise detection sensors that can be used for incident management and crime detection as well. And overall, there'll be an improved safety for road users. So the microclimate and temperature sensors monitor and notify transport network managers of weather conditions such as fog or ice, This allows them to act by gritting the right roads at the right time and alerting users to poor weather conditions. It may also allow them to target resources such as gritting lorries more efficiently, and then which will reduce the use of gritting materials, and overall just will increase efficiency in that respect as well. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Okay, so now we'll be examining some constraints. So over to you, George, as a mentee.
Yep, so we just want to know what are the challenges that cities or urban areas will face in meeting these technology trends. So always a big one is funding, is getting the right funding for it, because it can be expensive. But around that area, the whole purpose of the trends is to, maybe there'll be an initial cost, but the aim is to reduce costs in the future and eventually result in profits for these areas. So you've got out of date infrastructure. Yeah, 100%. So the infrastructure will need to update as technology updates as well. Yeah, it has to upgrade in unison, really, doesn't it? The capacity of the networks, yeah. So the network capacity will have to increase to meet the trends. Yeah, local residents, there could be resistance from local residents. We've already had a lot of conspiracy theorists around 5G towers, haven't we? So that there's always that issue there. Data constraints, yeah. User uptake, 100%. Education, yeah. So that's another one. So obviously we've got the youth being born today that'll be born and raised with this sort of technology. But I suppose for us, as all becoming new, we're all always having to learn new things as these new things come in. And it is quite a challenge, but we all just have to sort of push each other along to learn, don't we? Yeah, that's always a big one. So that came in up before with cybersecurity as well. There's always the issue of things getting hacked, so we need to have the right cybersecurity in place to avoid this. Because obviously then there'll be, if hackers do get involved with technology changing, then data protection is going to become an issue as well. Misuse or vandalism, yeah, that comes hand in hand with hacking too. There's always going to be people that are going to try and take advantage through immoral techniques, and we just need to be wary of that and make sure we don't allow that to happen. Yeah, stealing data as well. This are all hand in hand. And listed buildings too. Yeah, inequality of rural areas. Yeah, so we had that brought up last time, I think, though, didn't we? Where rural, there was always going to be a bit more of a problem in rural areas than in cities, maybe due to funding issues. But overall, the aim is to reduce costs overall, so it can be implemented in rural areas too. Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. So from talking to our clients, these are the top kind of 5 constraints or kind of challenges that we've come across. The first one is lack of know-how. Clients are not always aware of the innovative solutions, as well as the lack of standards and policies. It makes it very difficult to develop the roadmap for technological interventions in order to resolve the challenges they are facing. Shrinking budgets is always been a constraint, as well as funding gaps are some of the financial barriers to embracing innovative solutions to kind of future ready our transport networks. Lack of data sharing and harvesting is making it really difficult for authorities to understand patterns or problems to be able to make decisions that creates operational benefits and kind of promotes innovation. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about, what good connectivity needs. So good connectivity really needs good cybersecurity. So positive connectivity and all the benefits we've, all the nice benefits we've just talked about only works with good cybersecurity. If ignored, all the nice benefits from connectivity, like improved reliability, better customer experience, low operating costs, reduced disruption, and the environmental benefits, they'll be kind of, they will not get these benefits if you don't have good cybersecurity. These benefits will actually turn more into threats, like what you can see on the screen. So there's going to be ease of mounting an attack on the authority. There's threat potential safety impact, service disruption, reputational damage and public trust, being claims and fines against the councils, and also data theft, which I believe it was highlighted in one of the mentees. Yeah, so all these benefits will turn into threats if we don't have good cybersecurity. When we have good cybersecurity, you're actively managing the threats and risks. So with good cybersecurity, you are improving risk management, asset management, technology lifecycle thinking, you're having business resilience, standardization of Internet of Things through cybersecurity assurance. You'll be improving, your change management. You'll be more kind of basically prepared for disasters of all kinds, and also regulations and legislations for Internet of Things and 5G via the cybersecurity in the supply chain. And that marks the end of our webinar. So thank you very much for listening. I think over to you, Alice, for Q&A.
Yes, thank you. Great presentation. If anyone does have any questions, please just pop them in the chat box or raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We can just have a bit of a discussion.
Thanks for the presentation, Lara. Really interesting. It was one of the points raised about sort of rural areas and connectivity. Is it a reality for sort of rural mid Wales to have something along the lines of Elon Musk's Starlink? Is that a reality for somewhere like that from an economic point of view?
Nick, it's a really good question, and that's really been flagged previously and about rural areas. Obviously, there's lack of connectivity as it is, and so nothing is impossible. And the whole point about technology is you want to it's kind of supporting inclusion and diversity as well. So there's a project that we're working on at the moment with Devon Council. There's a section that was in kind of rural areas. It is possible, but there are challenges that we have to work around. And by us kind of looking at these different applications and tackling these challenges, actually, I see that we're influencing the manufacturing industry as well, in terms of thinking a bit more outside the box and thinking more outside the urbanized areas, to think about, what can we do more for the rural areas as well. So there's no yes or no answer at this stage, but I think the more we work with these challenges, the more influence we'll have on that technology. But it's better than nothing. It's really, I'm really fascinated about technology, by the way, and just kind of as an engineer, leveraging that technology to bring those benefits and for other space services, utilize it if it works, if you can. George, I don't know if you have a view on that as well.
Well, I'm thinking, so you've got Elon Musk's Starlink, and I'm not sure, maybe for rural Wales, something like that could be a bit ambitious at this stage, but the improvement of technology just encourages improvement even in areas such as rural Wales. So I'm not sure exactly how much it'll improve it, but it's going to improve. But I don't know how. Obviously, it's all new and it's a bit up in the air. But the idea of of having something like Starlink over rural Wales is exciting, but I don't know how possible that is right now.
Yeah. You will see. Yeah. Thanks both.
Cheers. Thanks, Nick.
So I think we'll end the session there. Thank you. Thanks to everyone for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.